Hello, good evening. Welcome on day 80 or 99 days. Today I want to talk about the essence of awakening. And the essence of awakening is actually, like I shared also in the first days, probably. No, yeah, I think it was the first weeks. Is something that we've all experienced more than one time in our lives. I'm sure about that. Because if you're really in awe of something that's really beautiful or really innocent, like a baby, even if it's not your baby, but you just see a baby, and then you can sense this pure innocence of this child, or the beauty in flowers, or the beauty in nature, or the beauty in animals like birds, or in the beauty in crystals. There's so many things where you can just see the pure beautiness of it. And what actually happens then is that you actually sense through the material form, and you sense actually the pure essence of that person or being or the flower or, well, that consciousness that you're looking at. And when you let go of the form, like when you let go of the material thing we normally focused on, like the body of a person or the looks of a person, or when you just go beyond that and you can connect to that pure essence, then you actually immediately are connected through the heart. That goes automatically. You're not thinking in that moment. There's just awe of beautiness. Oh, there's awe of like this sense of, this sense of awe, what you feel. I'll call it beauty, but it doesn't have to be beauty if beauty gives a different meaning to you. And you can even try that out while you approach strangers on the street. And it's a very nice exercise to just walk around and look beyond people's appearances, how they look, or what they're wearing, or what they're saying, and just see the beauty in them. And anyone you will meet, you can see his beauty. Because all it takes actually is just let go of your judgment about the looks or the appearance of that person. And then you actually connect at a deeper level with that person. Obviously, you don't do that by talking to that person. So that person might not feel it, or might sense it, but it doesn't know it senses it, that you're connected on that level. And it's a nice exercise to actually let go of all judgments and to see people differently. And that way of opening up to another essence and to connect in another way with people will be a new way eventually, if we all waken up on this planet, or if you waken up fully. This is what they call enlightenment, that you go beyond the form, you go beyond the body, you go beyond seeing people as identities. And of course, you still appear as identity, you still appear in the body, and you still communicate in a normal way, but you connect deeper. And what most people experience when they're wakening up, when their heart is opening, they can encounter people, they can meet people, and then there's this enormous, strong feeling of attraction or connection. And at first it might be, because I've experienced it a couple of years ago, with 3 different persons at 3 different moments. And the strong connection was so strong that it was very confusing, because our mind translates it like you have fallen in love with someone. But the whole circumstance and the whole phase I was in, that was not the right explanation of it. And I've heard it by many other people, actually, that you can just meet a person who connects with you straight at heart level, without that without even having a good conversation or without even having a nice interaction. It's just pure connection. You might have looked in each other's eyes, or you might have shared something like an experience. And then there's this deep, deep connection. And for many people, that's confusing because we don't really know what's happening. And we try to give an explanation to it, of falling in love or soulmate or twin flame or whatever label we put on it. And what it actually is in that moment is pure deep connection at the purest level of love, without any condition, without any judgment. It's just pure open. It's as innocent actually when you see this little baby, this newborn, which almost radiates the same innocence, and you can even you open up when you see that innocence. And that's the same thing that happens when you might meet a person that that gives you actually that same feeling. And especially in the first years of waking up, when it's still a little bit unconscious, but you're already doing a lot of work. So your heart is open, like it has not been open before. So you're more vulnerable in that way. You're more open to receiving connection at a different level, at a different sensing level. And then it might happen out of the blue. It might just overwhelm you, or might surprise you, or so I don't know if you recognize this. And well, I know from a few of you in this group that they did. And like I said, I did it, and I had it a few times. And it's really, really wonderful. And it's very different from falling in love with someone. It's different in the sense that there's just one connection at one level, and it's not connection at more than one level, like I shared before, like the physical attraction and sexual attraction, the mental attraction, intellectual attraction, and the soul attraction. So this is actually just happening more at the soul attraction. Perhaps it's even that you meet someone that you feel connected to from other lifetimes. I don't know, actually. And I don't know if it's even relevant to dig into that story, whether you know each other from another lifetime or not. But it's a nice way to feel actually that you just can connect with people at a very different way than we are used to connect to people. And that's the same thing actually what happens when you really experience something that brings you like in awe or in pure innocence, like in this, that completely opens your heart. It can also be in music, that you just listen to a song, or you've just been taken away by it, and you forget actually the physical material life here. Sorry, I didn't switch my phone off. Well, I hope it's not working anymore. Sorry. Okay. So this new way of going through life and opening up to different senses might also give you the ability of telepathy, or then heightened sense of your intuition. And that might go very fast, actually, especially the intuition right now, when you've been so deep into these 99 days that you might not recognize it yet. But there will be a lot of things that you might think later, like, I just thought about this, and now it's happening. And that's going to be like repetitive, like at a daily level soon. Or you just think like, that's interesting. I just thought about he or she was going to say that. It just came up. And actually, my youngest daughter had it at the table. I was looking for a name, and I looked at my son because it was his friend. And we didn't even mention the context at all. And it was a friend of years ago. So there was no relevance that she could know what I was thinking. And she mentioned his name. And she said, oh my God, it's like telepathy. And I said, yes, it is. He actually did read my mind. He did read what I was trying to think, and I couldn't find a name. And that, I think, will be soon when more people are waking up and the frequency on this planet is rising, which is already rising right now, then we will use this sense of telepathy way more, actually. And that will actually gives us a lot of ease and peacefulness in conversations, because you already know what's actually happening and what's being said or wants to be shared without using too many stories or too many words. So you kind of get this deep understanding with each other without anything being said. And of course, we will still communicate in a normal way, but there will be other ways of communication. And if you're really like, oh, well, this is really woo-woo stuff for me, I don't really believe this, then just try first to open up to this recognition of intuition. Just recognize for yourself if you have thought about something, didn't act upon it, but it just crossed your mind, and then something like that happens. Or you forgot something, and you actually walked out the door and you thought like, oh, I should bring that. And then you thought, well, leave it. And then half an hour later, oh yeah, now I know why I forgot that. I did need it. And that's just simple intuition. And why intuition happens is because we still think in linear time and we experience reality as linear time. That's our whole experience. But everything happens at once. There is no past, there is no future, there's only the now. So everything is happening in that moment. So all the future possibilities, probabilities, are already there in place actually as an option. So when you tune into something, which we call the future, then it's already known in the field that that is an option to happen. So then, because you've already tuned into that idea, and then you kind of unconsciously go your way into your future, you take your next step, you take your action, and then you recognize what has come up before. And it doesn't happen all the time, obviously, because we have many different options every single second to take the next step in the next now moment. But if you're more in tune with the field and let go of all control and just trust that your alignment, that your essence and your alignment with what's good for you, your excitement, your purpose, that will tell you then what the next step is. And that's, of course, a really challenging way to live from our point of view right now. But in little steps, we can just practice that. Very little steps, very innocent little steps. And the other thing is, which is quite easy to practice with, is just try to see people in their perfection, in their beauty. Try to approach a person beyond his looks, or what he says, or what he thinks, or what he believes, or his belief system, or his appearance in general. Just try to look beyond that, and then see if you connect to that essence, or at least see that perfection which we all actually have. We just cover it up with all our defense mechanisms and our way of behavior we're used to. But most of it comes from we behave in a certain way because other people expect us to behave in a certain way. So we actually all just adapting ourselves to the expectation. I mean, none of us actually on a normal day goes out running and singing in the street because it feels like that. It comes up like, oh, I would love to run and sing right now. We don't even think about whether we'd like to do that because we think in things like, this is what we're supposed to be doing. So it's really already difficult to sense like, what would really excite me right now? And if I would have this feeling, oh, I would really love to dance and my house is too small and I need space and I would like to dance on the street. Well, I've seen it a few times, but then a lot of people think like, well, he must be drunk or, well, very outgoing or very authentic person. But as soon as you think or even think of something like doing that, you're already like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that because I might be laughed at or I'd feel awkward or whatever. So where there's so many constrictions living in a society, that's already determine how we act in a normal day. And that's the same way we approach other people. We make so many unconscious assumptions or judgments or, well, even assumptions, just neutral ones, interpretations, that is really hard to just be very neutral and open to someone. But it's a nice practice, and especially if you add a smile to your face and approach someone very kindly, you often get a rewarding smile back because that person actually feels seen in that moment by you, seen at a deeper level, and that's actually what we're all looking for. We don't want to feel lonely; we want to feel connected, because in essence we are connected. We are not alone. Because if alone will be our natural state, then we did not know what a connection will be. So we couldn't even think about being connected because aloneness would be our natural state. But because we know that we're actually connected, we feel alone. It's the other way around. We miss being connected. That's where loneliness comes from. So do you get this? So if being alone was our natural state, that would make us feel really happy and very content and very peaceful. But it does for no one. So it's not a natural state. Our natural state is to be connected in this essence of this deeper level with each and everyone, including nature and including also all the animals, including everything that has a life force in it, including the rocks and the stones. I mean, it's a very, very low consciousness, very low frequency, but it's over time, it's changing. So this core essence of being connected is the reason why we feel lonely. And that, of course, drives all our fears and our insecurities. So actively connect to another person is very, very nourishing. And actually you do the other person the same favor as you do yourself in that moment. So it works both ways. So see if you can try this out. Because like we talked about yesterday, to be loved or to matter or to be seen or to be heard, I mean, that's all still in the mind level. That's all still happening here in this construct of identity, and where we hold our pains and where we have endured our pains. And this goes actually beyond that. So we can spend a lot of time in trying to be more loved or feel more loved, not be more loved, but feel more loved, or become visible, and of course that's a good practice as well. But if you want to have a direct path to awakening and increase your frequency, just connect at a different level with persons, and you will see that you will feel connected as well. And you will feel seen in that moment, and you will also feel that you matter in that moment because you contribute to someone else's joy in that moment or happiness. And obviously love is the connection that's happened there. Not the romantic love, but just the pure love with a capital L. And so yes, this core essence of connection happens actually, and this core essence of awakening happens actually when we look beyond things. And beauty and be conscious about beautiful things and really enjoy that is also a way actually to open up. But then of course it's not the produce beautiness. I mean, it can be like a painting, of course, can be absolutely beautiful. But it's also in the simple things, like the flower in nature, or like this amazing roses this season. I don't know if you have noticed it, but the roses this season are exploding, actually. They're so full of love. And it's really, really beautiful to just watch these flowers thrive and bloom. Okay, well, I think that's it for today. I really tried to keep my sessions these last weeks to about 20 minutes. So I hope you then will all stick to the end. But I think you will. I mean, we're almost there now. So, okay, I'll see you back tomorrow, and have a nice evening. Bye.